Today is a powerful day of alignment, of new beginnings. So we are in the new moon, and as well as that, we have the beginning of the Chinese New Year. So we're entering into this brand new lunar cycle and the year of the snake. So we're really stepping into this new chapter today, which me in particular, it feels like much more of a potent time than the beginning of January. So then January 1, which is that we see that calendar new year. So if you have been feeling already that you're off to a bit of a slow start, or you're wondering why either things aren't progressing or you're not really feeling that shift of energy that you would expect to happen when you cross over into a new timeline, you cross over into a new year, um, then that's why. So hopefully as you move into and as you harness the energy that we're in at the moment, you will begin to feel a little bit more of that sense of renewal. And feel free to let me know as we progress anything that comes up for you, anything that you feel really resonates, or how you've been feeling in this energy. Because for me, it feels really exciting, it feels expansive, and it feels like it's full of potential, a lot of potential. And we are going to be really looking at that today and harnessing that today. What I love in particular about this new moon is that it's Aquarius, and Aquarius is really the visionary of the zodiac. And so, with that, we're really being encouraged to let go of the limitations, whether that's within our beliefs, our habits, our fears and doubts that really hold us back, and to shed, like the snake, to shed that skin so that we can start to move forward more spaciously and more confidently and courageously into the unknown, because it is the unknown that we're stepping into. We don't know what our year holds. We don't know what's in front of us. We're not meant to know right now. And this is where harnessing your guidance system and really feeling activated in your connection to your guidance system and to your soul is what really helps us as we transition, helps us as we stay on this path of faith and trust. And they are like our allies when we're on this path. Okay. So um this is about also really aligning with our most authentic self. And when I speak about authentic self, this is really our connection to our soul and our essence, and most authentic self. When we are most authentic, we are in remembrance of our whole self, which is beyond the ego identity, but really who we came here to be, who we chose to incarnate as in our fullness. So many of us who are on this journey of conscious deconditioning from the programs, from the expectations of others, or from the kind of the layers of not self, the layers of not self or not truth that we have naturally inherited or have naturally accumulated through our life. And we get to this point where we start to awaken more. And if you're like me, like awakening can happen in different stages. But when we start to awaken, we realize all of the conditioning that has been accumulated in our body and in our energetic field that is not our truth. And so what we're being really encouraged to do as we step into 2025 is, can you find the courage to shed that? Can you find the courage to release identities that you've maybe been clinging on to that you thought were actually you, but it's like an old shoe or a tight jacket that doesn't fit you anymore. And we have sovereignty, we have choice, we have the power to just in an instant go, that is not me, that is not my truth. And when we bring that awareness to it, we can release it and we can dissolve it. So a lot of what we've accumulated is just, it's the lies, it's the familiar lies, the familiar patterns that anchor us into the past. So this snake energy, along with the new moon, is just further activating this sense of shedding and renewal. Maybe let me know or type a one in the chat if you have a sense of that already, if you can feel that being activated in yourself already. I certainly can. So really, all of this creates the perfect conditions for us to ultimately come back home to our truth and embrace Our limitless potential. This is what the theme is of this morning's transmission and of this circle. And it came in loud and clear before I even felt into what the astrology is of this time, right? We can't make this up. We know it, we feel it. And so if this is resonating with you, it's because you know it already. You are tapped into that. I'm not telling you anything that you don't already know within your being. And that's why I call these sessions like an activation. It's nothing that's outside of you, it's that deep inherent knowing within you that you can claim, right? When it's activated, you go, yeah, actually, this is alive in me, and this is what I'm choosing to align with. So, that word of alignment is one of the most powerful ones for us this year. When you feel like you're out of alignment, when you feel like you're identifying with your conditioning or your not self theme, that's the opportunity to go, okay, I'm coming back into what my truth, what does authenticity want to speak in me? What does my soul want to express? Is what I'm being called into, is this mind or ego driven? So, in other words, is it enforced from outside? Or is this heart inspired? And is this guidance, right? Guidance that wants to come through. And what I found on my journey with this is that patience is really required. Patience is really required. The mind's going to go ahead. Where is it? Why isn't it happening? What am I meant to do? Is this the right thing? Soul sits back and waits for that divine moment, for that right opportunity, for that impulse, that inspired action. That's nothing from outside, that comes from within. And you can trust, if you're on this path, that you are literally moved from within. You are moved to take action. You are moved to make that connection and reach out to someone. None of that is imposed externally, but it arises from within you. And if you've been working with me for a while, you will be tuned into that, right? That gets stronger as we practice it. This is why things like this and coming together and doing this work, we don't just do it once. We build the trust muscle, we build those new neural pathways. We've got some really old patterning that we need to decondition out of. So it doesn't just happen like that. But it does happen if you stay committed and you stay intentional. There is an inevitability about that when you do that. Okay. So, the invitation is to release the limitations and remember our immense capacity as expansive souls to create in this world. We are manifestors, whether we know it, believe it, or not. We are creating our worlds. So, to begin, I think it's really important to remember and to affirm. And you can just affirm this into yourself and connect this for yourself, the fact that you are limitless. You're limitless. We are only confined or restricted or limited in this three-dimensional reality by the limits that we choose, whether consciously or unconsciously, by the limits that we choose to place on ourselves. We're the only ones standing in our way. And this is true as we progress into this year more than ever. We are the only ones that are standing in our way. And we are the only ones that need to back ourselves and believe in ourselves. We cannot expect that recognition from outside. We cannot expect others to do that for us if we are not fully doing that for ourselves. So our soul is calling us to turn back around from looking outside at where am I getting the validation? Where am I getting the approval? Why aren't people blah, blah, blah? To turn back around, come back in and go, where am I not validating myself? Where am I not fully backing myself? Where am I not fully believing in myself and my potential? Right? And an amazing thing happens when we do this. We puff up our own energy. When we grace ourselves without the gift of our own backing, our own self worth, anything's possible. And life shifts to reflect that energy, right? Life is a reflection of who we are, not what we want, but who we are being. So coming back home and reaffirming that. And actually in the transmission today, I'm going to finish with a lot of really powerful affirmations for you to anchor that into your energetic field. So we will do that together. Okay. So When we talk about these constrictions or these limitations, these are tied to our thoughts, to the stories that we believe, to the beliefs that we are choosing to entertain, even when they don't serve us anymore. When you say it out loud and you're like, that's actually not true, or that's actually not mine, but it's just been there. It's still there. It's still there. Okay. The lies that we're choosing to believe from the ego mind. Okay. What we are subscribing to. It's like an email list. The emails coming through. What are you subscribing to? What are you still letting in, even though it's actually not serving me? It's not making me feel good. This is what we need to get really empowered and get really discerning about as well. Okay. So ultimately, our core vibration when we are in our true alignment with our soul, and I really want you to feel this, is pure limitlessness. That's what we are. We're expansive soul beings, right? We have part of our soul here, but the rest of it is out in the field, possibly living other lives if you believe in parallel universes and parallel lives, right? There's an aspect of us here. What happens when we actually tap into our full potential and our full limitlessness, pure potentiality? This is the frequency of who we are in our truth. When we remember that, anything is possible. Anything is possible. And this is what I really invite you to explore and entertain in your own life and in your own reality. The more that we can dwell in the realm of possibilities instead of probability or impossibility, you begin to play in an expansive field where you can unlock your infinite potential. But when we're playing by the rules of probability, we are in the past. We are limiting our perspective based on what's been or what hasn't been. When we shift into acknowledging our limitlessness, we shift our mindset to possibility. We open the door to new possibilities, infinite possibilities, ones that are not limited by past experience or past evidence. We need to let go of the need to continually look for evidence that something is so. Because 95% of what exists in reality is unseen. We can't see it. We can only see the tip of the iceberg. We can only experience a very small proportion of reality by our five limited senses. So, what would it be like for you to start to believe in the seemingly impossible? What would that look like for you? That would mean that you would need to tap into the wholeness of you that is beyond our conscious awareness. And that's what we're going to do today. Okay. So when we overcome the limitations, which are not really limitations, they are thoughts around our limitations, which are basically lies, not truth. When we do this, we shift into the realm of positive manifestation that's in alignment with our soul. It's in alignment with our soul desires. So I want you to imagine that all of the possibilities that are available to you, or all of the possibilities that you seek, all of the potentials are asleep within your soul, waiting for you to have the courage to awaken them. Because it takes courage to show up and do the work. It takes courage to rewrite your story, to write a new script. It takes courage to entertain your dreams, your desires. I know for many of my clients, they haven't let themselves go there. They are there for a reason, and you are the only one to awaken them. And it's time. So when it comes to manifesting a new desired reality this year, and hopefully you have the space to, or you have already really tapped into yourself around what is that for yourself? Because your soul does not want you to limit yourself with your dreams and with your desires. So that's number one, is giving yourself that opportunity to feel that. Okay. Because we know there's already, and we're going to get into this activation in a minute, but there's already infinite potentials that exist in the quantum field. And in the activation today, you are going to choose one of these potentials for yourself. And you can consider, if we want to get scientific about it, it currently exists in this quantum field in a wave form. And through your observation, through your visualization of this potential reality that exists like a wave, you have the power. This is how powerful you are, because you literally begin to condense the wave into form, the particles into form. The wave of possibilities collapse into a single tangible experience, which is the manifestation of your desire. And the feeling is the secret. The feeling is what draws that defined state into experience. So it brings it to us by our observation, which is informed by our intentions. Why it's really important we have that clear intention of what we want to create. And then we have that heartfelt emotion, or that elevated emotion, which literally magnetizes. Our heart has magnetism about it. So it literally, the emotion magnetizes that desired state from the quantum into the reality. And that's what we're going to be doing today.